The ultimate mystical vision is that only the divine exists, only God exists. When you see yourself, when you meet another, it's only an encounter with another reflection of the divine. And in that spirit, Guru Nanak says, I am neither a child, a young man, nor am ancient, nor am I of any caste. So he's saying very clearly that the way we identify ourselves, whether through age, whether through time, whether through our identity within the world, all these are ultimately false. Because all these are relative in nature. They do not identify us as part, as reflection of that greater energy of the divine. We are not belonging to any particular station in life, to any particular position we hold, to any particular identity which we have been given in the world. No. And this is what the Ashtavakra Gita also says. This is what the boy sage Ashtavakra explains to the Emperor Janak. This whole illusion that we are to be identified with what our position is in the world is the very first wrong step that is taking us away from the true bliss, the true identity with the greater. We are far more at the very center of our being. We are rooted in the sacred music of the ultimate. We are rooted in the celestial harmony of the divine. And through that realization comes true rejoicing in life. Through that comes the true path, what in China is called the Tao, the way to universal bliss, the way to universal harmony, the way to individual realization is one and the same. Do not identify with your personality, with your position within the world. That is the biggest delusion. Now, this is the highest mystical truth as far as the Upanishads also go. This is the highest mystical truth as far as all the Eastern mystical and mystic statements go. And Guru Nanak says it in his own inimitable form, again and again reminding us that the vision of the rishis, the vision of the visionaries, the vision of the true mystics is one which transcends outer characteristics. And when you transcend outer characteristics only is when you come into a true communion with the divine. Without that, you can never enter into a true communion because your whole energy is being poured into your outer identity. As long as your energy is poured into asserting your outer identity, no matter what it is, the identity of your religion, the identity of your nation, the identity of your particular profession or position that you hold in the world, as long as your whole energy is being poured in that direction, where is the energy to identify with the larger, the vaster, the divine? It's simply not there. So in fact, we are doing the greatest disservice by pouring all our energy into this false identity. Take away your energy from that false identity. Fulfill your task within that identity, as a leader, as part of a team, as a particular professional, fulfill your task. But in the inner source of knowing, know that that is just a fragmentary part of the larger truth of yourself. The larger truth of yourself resides as a far greater dance of existence itself, a far greater dance of the divine itself. And knowing this, you come to a feeling of bliss. Knowing this, you come to an explosion of your self-potential. You see, we are split into many parts. There's mind, there's body, there's spirit. But if you confuse the spirit for the mind and vice versa, you find yourself coming to a very ordinary vision of life. You start believing that what the mind dictates to you is the ultimate truth. But the mind is not truly inspired by higher truth. The mind is settling into a comfort zone of ego. And when you settle into a comfort zone of ego, there's always the danger that you crystallize your identity around that egoic identity. Don't crystallize your identity around that egoic identity. Know that beyond that is your higher potential for contact with the luminous divine. Know that beyond that image which you have created for yourself in the world is a formless, imageless identity of yourself. Go beyond all images of yourself. You see, the modern world is so obsessed with the image, what you stand for, your belief systems, your ideologies. It is as if we are born to create an image of ourselves. But eventually, reality itself is imageless, formless. It comes out of a great nothingness. It comes out of a great formlessness, an unknown energy. Identify more with that. Don't get caught in this image of self that only leads to a limitation of yourself, that only leads to a boundary wall, a smaller and smaller perimeter around yourself. It does not allow you to expand organically. And spirituality is nothing but expanding organically into finding an identity which has dissolved, almost like salt is dissolved in the ocean. That should be the way of the mystic. A seamless dissolution into the higher state of being, a seamless dissolution, a dissolving into the oceanic waters of greater truth. That is the only way to flow into higher bliss, higher truth, higher consciousness. You just melt into, you just flow into, you just merge into the ocean of the greater, the ocean of the vast, the ocean of the cosmos, the ocean of universal existence, beyond all names, beyond all forms. Therein lies your greater truth. And only through that dissolving do you become satisfied. Else, nothing else can dissolve you. If you consider yourself to be of a particular caste, to be of a particular religion, to be of a particular image in life, a power holder, and Guru Nanak says, I am neither a child, a young man, nor am ancient. I am timeless actually. I am ageless and timeless. So know yourself to be ageless and timeless. That is the movement towards your wholeness of being. And only when you move towards your wholeness of being can there be truly a feeling of successful living. Can there be truly a feeling that the hidden parts of yourself have also surfaced in the expression of your life, and then you know such joy as you have never known. That is the meditative state. That is the state that makes you turn towards the greater truth of the divine. All else frustrates. All else can never be ultimately fulfilling. The most tremendously beautiful thing about our lives is that we are unlimited. Life is a question of discovery of discovering our limitlessness, of discovering ourself beyond what we believe to be ourselves. That is the greatest joy. That is the greatest movement toward the samadhi state, the mukti state, the moksha state, the state of complete nirvana or liberation or freedom, and the state of merging with the highest. In that state of being, you lose fear. You let go of all that has kept you limited. You move towards the greater as if led by a magnetic force, and that itself allows you to become truly luminous. That itself allows you to light the lamp within your heart. That itself allows you to be supremely blissful.